Hello and welcome to this video to introduce the EPMA prescribing sessions for UEA medical students. EPMA is an acronym that stands for Electronic Prescribing and Medicines Administration. It is the electronic system that is used at NNUH for prescribing and administering medicines. Increasingly, secondary care trusts are implementing electronic solutions for prescribing and administering medications. The system that is used at NNUH is one of many that are on the market, and other trusts will likely use different variations. The idea behind these sessions is not for you to become an expert user of EPMA at NNUH, but for you to learn some prescribing skills in various specialities and to also become familiar with electronic prescribing processes and workflows. During this video, we'll demonstrate how to use the EPMA system so that you can get started more quickly during the sessions.
To log into EPMA, find the icon on your computer's desktop. The icon may not look exactly like this, but should have EPMA trained somewhere in the text below it. Double-click to open. Use the login details that are provided by the session facilitator. Note that the username must be all capital letters and may also contain a number. Passwords are case sensitive. When you first log into EPMA, you will see a series of green tiles that serve different functions. We won't go into too much detail here, except to say that the Inpatient Finder tile is used for the main prescribing functions, and the Administration Round tile is used for the main administering functions. Click on the Inpatient Finder tile to access drug charts for any patient that is a current inpatient. You will be provided with patient details to use during the session by the facilitator. Input the patient's hospital number to search for them. Click to select them. At the top of the page, you will see the patient's personal information, name, date of birth, hospital number, etc. The system is structured into a series of 7 tabs. Within each tab, there is a separate menu of options. By default, the system lands the user in the Monitoring and Assessment tab. This tab will display tasks that the system is prompting the user to complete, some of which must be completed before prescribing can occur. The Inpatient RX tab is the main inpatient drug chart and is where the bulk of the prescribing occurs. The Discharge RX tab is for discharge prescriptions. Short-term leave RX is for short-term leave prescriptions. This function is not currently used at NNUH though. Discontinued RX will show any discontinued medicines. Note that discontinued items will remain in the Inpatient RX tab with an overlay until midnight of the day that they are discontinued. They will then transfer into the Discontinued RX tab. This is just to make clear what has recently been stopped. The conflict log will display any drug-drug or drug allergy interactions, the reason for overriding them, and the user responsible for the action. Finally, the Administration tab is used to record the administration of medicines. For your prescribing sessions, you will mainly be using the Inpatient RX tab. In this example, we are being warned that you cannot prescribe as there are outstanding VTE tasks. We must complete a VTE assessment before we can continue. Every inpatient should have a VTE assessment completed and a decision made about thromboprophylaxis. Go to the Monitoring and Assessment tab and select VTE Assessment on admission. Fill in the assessment, selecting the relevant thrombosis risk and bleeding risk factors for the patient. Finally, make a decision about whether pharmacological thromboprophylaxis is recommended or not and click Save. You will be returned to the Monitoring and Assessment tab, where VTE Assessment on Admission is now shown under Complete Actions. In this example, we have selected that pharmacological thromboprophylaxis is recommended, so our first action will be to prescribe some prophylactic low molecular weight heparin. At NNUH, we use dalteparin, but some other low molecular weight heparins are available and may be used at other trusts. To do this, go to the Inpatient RX tab and click Add Drug. In the treatment search window that opens, there are 3 tabs. Drug is for prescribing single drugs, Protocol for prescribing protocols, which we'll talk about in more detail in a moment, and Infusion for fluids and infusions, though this functionality is not currently in use at Norfolk and Norwich, so no need to worry about this. We want to prescribe a single drug, so we will leave the Drug tab selected. Type dalteparin and click Search. Select the appropriate concentration, which for this patient is 5,000 units. The prescribing workflow is split into 5 tabs. Drug Notes will display any relevant notes for the drug in question. Formulary will indicate whether the drug is on the trust formulary or not. Drug Conflicts will display any drug-drug or drug-allergy interactions. Order Entry is where you can make amendments to the prescription. Confirmation is used to perform a final check of your prescription before it becomes active. If the tab heading is shown in red, then there is an issue that must be addressed before the prescribing can occur. If the heading is seen in green, there are currently no issues to address within that tab. In this example, all elements of the Order Entry tab are completed by default and are correct for this patient. If needed, you can change the order type by selecting from the drop-down menu at the top of the Order Entry tab. You can change to PRN stat, etc. You can change the dose, frequency, start date and stop date. You can also select a number of days or doses of treatment. Take note of the first administration time and prescribe a stat dose for now if needed. If you scroll down in the Order Entry tab, you will see medicines management information that can be filled in if known. As we are happy that all of the details within the Order Entry tab are correct, we can progress to the Confirmation tab either by clicking Next or by selecting the tab directly. From the Confirmation tab, we perform one final check of the prescription before clicking Confirm to prescribe the item. The item is now an active prescription in the Inpatient RX tab. We have described the process of prescribing a single drug. Now we'll take a brief look at protocols. Protocols are collections of medicines that are commonly prescribed together. There is a list of all of the current EPMA protocols available on the NNUH EPMA intranet site. To access this, go to the NNUH main intranet homepage and navigate to the EPMA intranet site by clicking on the electronic prescribing logo on the right-hand side of the page. From here, go to Reports, select NNUH and open the Protocols, PGDs and MWEX folder. Select EPMA Protocol List. From the Inpatient RX, select Add Drug. In the Treatment Search window, select the Protocol tab and start typing the name of the protocol that you want to prescribe. In this example, we'll prescribe a prednisolone reducing regime. Select the desired protocol from the list that is returned following your search. For this example, we'll select prednisolone 30 mg reduced by 5 mg per week. The process is the same as has been described previously for single drugs, except that when you reach the Order Entry tab, there will be a section for each element of the protocol. Each element is listed on the left-hand side, arranged in tabs, and the element details will be listed on the right. For the most part, you won't need to change anything in the Order Entry tab, as all of the information will have been pre-populated. However, if needed, you can change any of the elements in the same way as has been described previously for single drugs. You can also delete certain lines from a protocol if needed. Select the line on the left, and then click the Delete Order button and then Confirm. The deleted line will appear with a red Deleted overlay. Once you're satisfied that you've made all necessary amendments to a protocol, click Next to proceed to the Confirmation tab for a final check of the prescription before clicking Confirm to prescribe the protocol. Finally, we will now talk about modifying orders. Some elements of any existing order on EPMA can be modified. For example, changing the dose of a drug. To change the dose, click on any drug from the Inpatient RX tab. Once selected, click the Order Modify tab within the window that appears. The dose and frequency may be freely changed from this screen. Click the Confirm button once done. Orders may also be suspended or discontinued. This is also done from the Order Modify tab of any order. The order may be suspended or discontinued by using the relevant menu buttons at the top of the window. This has been a basic run-through of how to use EPMA at NNUH. We hope that it has been useful.